Have you ever felt utterly stuck? Like you're just going round and round in circles, maybe in a small pond, when you know there's this vast ocean of possibilities just out there?
Or maybe you wondered about the unseen forces that influence our daily lives and, how much of our own suffering might actually be, well, self-created.
Yeah, exactly. Well, today we're embarking on a truly profound deep dive.
We are. Our sources today are some really powerful excerpts from Libertação, that's liberation in English, by Francisco Cândido Xavier, channeled to the spirit André Luiz.
And this isn't just any book, right? It's more like a journey.
Absolutely. It offers some, frankly, astonishing insights into human nature, suffering, and maybe most importantly, the transformative power of love and forgiveness.
So our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to unpack these narratives, pull out the key nuggets of wisdom, and sort of explore how these concepts might shed some light on your own path, your path to liberation and understanding.
Let's try and uncover some surprising facts, maybe find those aha moments that show just how interconnected everything really is.
Okay, so where do we start?
We begin with a really striking allegory. It's presented as an ancient Egyptian legend, and it just sets the stage perfectly.
Right, I'm listening.
Picture this. A beautiful, self-contained pond, maybe lined with turquoise tiles, looking perfect. It gets water from a tiny stone channel, and the water flows out through this really narrow, almost hidden grating on the opposite side.
Okay, got it. Closed little system.
Exactly. And in this pond, you've got a whole community of fish, but they're fat, satisfied, lounging around in cool, muddy niches.
Sounds pretty comfortable.
Too comfortable, maybe. They're completely absorbed in idleness, gluttony. They've even elected this huge, fat fish as their king. For them, life is just the pond. No bigger dreams.
But there's always one, isn't there?
There is. Enter the red fish. Small, kind of scorned, neglected. This fish just can't compete. Can't get enough food. Can't find a good resting spot among the big greedy ones.
So constantly struggling.
Constantly swimming. Constantly uncomfortable. And this hardship, it turns into something else. A strange kind of gift.
How so?
Well, because it couldn't be idle, couldn't just relax, the redfish turned all that energy towards observation. Study, even.
Instead of just zoning out.
Right. It meticulously mapped every single tile in that pond, every little hole, figured exactly where the mud gathered. It got to know its confined world inside and out.
Wow. Not out of curiosity, but like necessity.
Precisely. And through this diligent study, after a really long time, it finds it. That narrow, almost invisible grating. The pond's only way out.
Ah, the escape hatch.
You could call it that. And the fish, even though it's thin now, losing scales from the effort, it pushes through. It's driven by this really deep question, something like, wouldn't it be better to explore life, to know other paths?
It chose change, even though it hurt.
It did. And talk about payoff.
How?
The redfish finds a small stream,
Okay.
which leads it to a great river.
Bigger still.
And finally, the vast, incredible, surprising ocean.
Wow. From the pond to the ocean.
Imagine. This new world is just breathtaking. Luminous plants, strange animals, even things that look like moving stars in the water. The fish doesn't just survive, it thrives.
So is its place.
And finds others like it. Other studious and thin fish. It settles into a beautiful coral palace with hundreds of new friends. A completely different life.
That's amazing. But the story doesn't end there, does it?
No, because eventually, this immense compassion wells up inside the red fish. It feels compelled to go back.
Back to the pond. Why?
To share. It imagines this joyous reunion, thinking, surely they'll want to know about this incredible world. Surely they'll be inspired.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, the reality was stark. Nobody moved. The fat, complacent fish were still heavy, idle, just chilling in their muddy nests, only stirring to fight over scraps.
They didn't even notice it was gone.
Not really. The redfish cries out, tries to get their attention. Nothing. Finally, it goes to the fat king. The king, just sort of dulled by his own self-importance, eventually lets the messenger speak.
Okay, moment of truth.
And the redfish, speaking from pure experience, just lays it out. There is another liquid world, glorious and endless. It tries to explain their pond is tiny, temporary, could vanish any minute.
And beyond the grating.
Is this richer, more surprising life. Flower-adorned streams, mighty rivers, the boundless sea. It describes amazing creatures, tuna, salmon, trout, even something called a sea rooster.
Trying to paint the picture.
Absolutely. Talks about skies full of stars, giant trees, huge boats, underwater gardens, invites them all to the coral palace, promises prosperity, calm.
But there's a catch.
There's a price. They have to lose weight, basically, start being so greedy and commit to work and study. Effort is required.
And how did that go down?
Laughter. Just loud, strident laughter erupted as soon as it finished. Nobody believed a word.
Ouch!
They called the redfish delirious. Said another life beyond the pond was impossible. Some even claimed to speak for the god of fish, saying this god only cared about them.
Wow. Total denial.
And the king, to really mock the redfish, waddles over the grating, pretends to try and squeeze through, and then bubbles out, "See? Not even one of my fins fits. Our lake is the center of the universe. Nobody has a life like ours."
So rejection. Complete rejection.
Driven out by sarcasm, basically.
Yeah.
The redfish returns to the ocean, sadder but wiser, perhaps. And years later, a devastating drought.
Oh, no.
The pond dries up completely. And those self-satisfied fish, they perish in the mud. Well, the redfish lives happily ever after in the ocean.
What a powerful story. And the book explicitly says this mirrors André Luiz's mission.
It does. And it immediately makes you ask, doesn't it? What ponds are we limiting ourselves to?
Yeah, what comfortable little worlds do we refuse to leave?
And what fears keep us from pushing through that narrow grating of discomfort, that initial pain of change to find something richer?
And maybe, how do we react when someone tries to show us a different way? Especially if it challenges our comfort, our worldview.
Exactly those questions. And just like that red fish trying to awaken its peers, André Luiz, guided by his instructor Gúbio, is taken to explore these profound spiritual realities, to challenge assumptions.
And André Luiz himself admits he had blind spots.
He does. He says, quite frankly, that before this, he had not identified the existence of these organized concentrations of malignant entities in the spiritual world. He didn't realize how structured it could be.
That's a huge realization, and the text brings up this challenging idea. If diamond is cut by diamond, bad can only be corrected by bad. What's that about?
It's a tough concept. It points to historical figures, Alexander, Augustus, Constantine, huge empire builders, right? But even they couldn't stop bloody conflicts, spreading plunder and death.
So power alone isn't the answer.
Not earthly power, anyway. The insight here, and it's profound, is that what we often see as bad isn't necessarily just punishment from above.
Okay.
Sometimes the universe, under what the book calls superior powers, actually permits or uses these challenging, even negative forces for educational purposes.
Like tough love on a cosmic scale.
Kind of. Like how nations might suffer the consequences of their own wars. It's not just God being angry, it's a harsh lesson. A curriculum almost. It reframes suffering not just a curse, but maybe a catalyst.
A catalyst for growth. And that ties into another core idea, doesn't it? About our thoughts.
Absolutely central. Our thoughts are presented as creative forces. They externalize, they actually help shape the reality we experience.
So our inner world isn't just passive, it's actively building things.
That's the idea. If we constantly direct our will towards, say, sickness, focusing on it, fearing it, the book suggests the illness will respond to the appeal.
Wow.
But conversely, a valiant spirit, someone focused on good, finds immense resources to concentrate on good. Our focus literally draws energy and shapes outcomes.
That really makes you pause. How much control do we really have just through where we put our mental energy?
A profound amount, the text suggests.
Okay.
Way more than most of us realize. And to really drive this home, Gúbio takes André Luiz and another spirit, Eloy, on a journey.
Or two.
Downwards. To a lower sort of purgatorial colony. A realm described as being full of vast shadows.
Sounds grim.
It is. The sun there is dim, weak. The air is thick with gray smoke. Even the plants look sinister, like arms raised in painful supplications.
Yikes. And they don't just look at it, right? They go in.
They do. And to navigate this place, they have to essentially wear their spiritual bodies, their paraspirits, like deep-sea diving suits.
Why?
To absorb the lower vibrations of the realm without being completely overwhelmed. But doing so makes them heavy, even physically disfigured by the environment. They reflect the state of the place they're in.
So they literally feel the weight of that darkness.
They become part of it temporarily to understand it. And in this strange, heavy city, they witness something like a judgment process, a thelection.
Judging the souls there.
Yes, the 6 souls, as they're called. And the great judge figure is described as having unqualifiable impiety, ruling with cold and perverse assessors. It's not a pleasant scene.
But it's not about arbitrary punishment.
No, that's the key point. It's about consequence. Pure cause and effect. The text says, no one escapes the results of their own works. as fruit does not escape the properties of the tree that produced it.
You reap what you sow, basically.
Exactly. The judge even uses this crystal instrument to measure an entity's vibrational tone. And it reveals things like deep-seated self-serving avarice, especially in those who gain knowledge but refuse to share it, kept it all for themselves.
So accountability is absolute, and your outer reality reflects your inner state.
Completely. And what's really striking, maybe even disturbing, is seeing how directly that inner state can manifest. They observe a woman whose remorse and negative mental connections literally transform her appearance into something animalistic.
Whoa! So our inner landscape, our thoughts, feelings, regrets, they're constantly sculpting our spiritual form.
That's the implication. Even now, perhaps in ways we can't fully perceive yet. It's a powerful, almost chilling idea.
It really is a continuous, subtle shaping based on who we are inside. And speaking of unseen forces, the book mentions sleep.
Yeah, it throws out this staggering statistic. During sleep, 3/4 of the population of each of the Earth's hemispheres are in contact zones with us, meaning with disincarnated spirits.
3/4, that's huge.
It is. And it suggests this overlapping sphere is where great crimes have their origins, which leads us to a specific case study.
Okay, let's hear it.
A young woman named Margarida, she's suffering from this mysterious, debilitating illness. No physical cause can be found.
And the cause is spiritual.
Very much so. Gúbio reveals she's afflicted by these ovoid bodies attached to her brain.
Ovoid bodies, what are they?
They're described as living, egg-shaped spheres, essentially unconscious entities acting like vampires, draining her vital energy.
That sounds terrifying. Is it random?
No, not at all. Her primary tormentor is a specific spirit named Saldana, and he's driven by this intense, deep-seated hatred for Margarida's father.
Why?
Because her father, a judge, had wrongly condemned Saldana's own son, Jorge, years ago. So this isn't just a random attack. The book calls it a technically organized spiritual siege.
Wow. Planned, targeted. That's intense. So what happens next?
The group, André, Gúbio, Aloy, they follow Margarida and her husband Gabriel when they go to a Catholic temple, seeking help.
Okay, a sacred space. That should help, right?
Well, here's where it gets really intriguing. The temple is filled with light from the holy objects, but it's also teeming with disincarnated entities.
Good ones.
Many are described as ignorant and disturbing, actually outnumbering the living people 5-1. And they're actively trying to disturb and deceive.
5 to, even in a church.
Even there. The overall atmosphere is heavy, apparently burdened by the low mental vibration of many of the people praying there. Their thoughts aren't aligned with the space.
So the physical space isn't automatically pure.
Not automatically protective, it seems. And they witness this incredible phenomenon during communion. The sacred host, the bread, shines with light. But as people receive it, it literally blackens in the mouths of almost everyone, except for one young woman whose contrition was irreproachable. Her inner purity allowed the light to remain.
Wow. That's symbolic. It really drives home the point.
It does, doesn't it? It challenges all our assumptions about sacred spaces, about rituals. It's saying loud and clear, the external stuff isn't enough. Your inner state, your intention, your purity, that's what determines true spiritual connection.
It's not about where you are, but who you are inside.
Precisely. And it's this deep understanding of inner states that informs Gúbio's strategy with Saldana, Margarida's tormentor.
Right, the spirit seeking revenge. So Gúbio doesn't just fight him.
No, quite the opposite. He shows profound compassion. He directly addresses Saldana's pain, acknowledges the injustice done to his family, shows real empathy for his loss. His son Jorge, his wife Iracema, his daughter-in-law Irene, even his granddaughter Leah, who's being harassed by Margarita's brother.
He acknowledges the whole web of suffering. That sounds radically different. How does he actually heal the persecutors?
It's remarkable. He starts by visiting Saldana's son, Jorge, who's trapped in a spiritual asylum, tormented by visions of his deceased mother and wife. Gúbio performs a magnetic pass, like an energy healing, and Jorge literally awakens from this anguishing nightmare.
Just like that.
Just like that. Then he finds the daughter-in-law, Irene, who had committed suicide. He gently helps her understand she has died, telling her, death is simply a change of clothes. We find only the paradise or hell created by ourselves.
Facing reality even after death.
And he addresses Saldana's deceased wife, Iracema, her thirst for vengeance, patiently showing her how hatred only deepens the wounds, trapping everyone.
So he's healing the whole family unit on the spiritual plane. How does Saldana react to seeing Gúbio help his family like this?
It breaks him. Witnessing this unwavering practical compassion completely changes Saldana's heart. He actually says to Gúbio, referring to Margarida, "Even if she herself had stabbed me 1,000 times, your request, after the good you have done me, would redeem her in my eyes."
Wow, that's total transformation. Forgiveness in action, melting revenge.
It's a pivotal moment. But it's not just about healing the spirits. Gúbio also pushes for justice in the physical world.
How?
He facilitates a spiritual encounter between Margarita's father, the judge, who's now plagued by remorseful visions, and Jorge, the son he wrongly condemned.
Confronting the past?
Yes. Gúbio compels the judge to truly acknowledge his errors. He prompts him not only to review Jorge's case legally, but also to help Jorge's daughter, Leah, emphasizing that our resources and compassion aren't just for our blood relatives.
A broader sense of responsibility.
Exactly. And now, with Saldana fully cooperating, Gúbio and another benevolent spirit, Sidonio, can finally work on Margarida directly.
To remove those ovoid things.
Yes, they successfully remove the ovoid bodies from her brain, and her relief is immediate. Even one of the other dark spirits involved, a hypnotizer named Gaspar, who was sort of petrified by negative influences, starts to stir, showing signs of potential change.
Amazing. But the work isn't always smooth, even for the helpers. You mentioned a medium.
Right. There's a medium in Margarita's household, Dona Isora. She's struggling, not just with external influences, but with her own internal stuff. Jealousy, ego.
Ah, the inner battle.
Exactly. And negative spirits exploit this. They flatter her self-pity, whisper doubts, suggest she give up her spiritual work, even try to convince her that her mediumship is fake, just mystification.
Undermining her from within.
It shows how vital inner purity and constant vigilance are, especially for those involved in spiritual work. Thankfully, Sidonio intervenes, reminding her husband to support her, to help her see through it.
It highlights the ongoing challenges, and there was another hypnotist involved.
Yes, Leoncio. He initially worked with Saldana. But seeing Gúbio's example, seeing the power of compassion, moves him deeply. He admits his own past crimes and asks Gúbio for help.
Help with what?
For his own family back on Earth. His son is dying, and his wife has been seduced by the nurse caring for the son.
Oh, another tangled situation.
Very. And Gúbio agrees to help. He actually confronts the nurse, Felicio, the one who's poisoning the son to marry the wife.
Directly confronts him.
Yes, but again, appealing to his conscience, reminding him that even the greatest criminal can shorten long years of punishment through sincere service and repentance, offering a path out even then.
It's just incredible how forgiveness, when it's truly embodied like that, can just melt these hardened hearts, and how interconnected everything is. Past actions, present suffering, spiritual interventions.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What debts, what ripples are we creating or maybe redeeming with our choices every single day?
A powerful thought indeed. And all this transformation, it doesn't go unnoticed by the darker forces, I assume.
Not at all. This leads us to the climax, the ultimate confrontation. A powerful entity named Gregório is enraged by all this liberation, all this healing. He challenges Gúbio directly.
Uh-oh. Sounds serious.
It is. Gregório arrives with backup, some dozens of salaried followers, and even monstrous animals, spiritual projections of negativity. He loudly declares his philosophy. There is no merciful God, only a cause that directs. That cause is intelligence, not sentiment.
So pure, cold intellect versus compassion. The final showdown.
Pretty much. And just as Gregório is about to physically attack Gúbio, something extraordinary happens. A delicate, luminous apparatus appears in the sky.
Light against darkness.
And the voice rings out, clear, tender. It's Matilde Gregório's spiritual mother.
His mother.
Yes. She reminds him of their deep connection, his own past, how he allied himself with the dragons of evil just for ephemeral authority, temporary power.
Appealing to his deeper self.
Matilde then materializes, but she's veiled. Gregório, still defiant, brandishes his sword, demanding she fight him.
He wants to fight his own mother.
He's consumed by his rigid ideology. But Matilde, she remains serene, majestic. She simply unveils her face, opens her arms wide, and says, "I have no other sword save the sword of love with which I have always loved you."
Wow. Just love is the weapon.
The ultimate weapon.
Yeah.
And Gregório, he's utterly overwhelmed. Faced with that luminous beauty, that unconditional tenderness, he just drops his sword, falls to his knees, cries out, "Mother, my mother!"
He breaks.
Completely. The book describes their embrace as a shock between light and darkness. Gregório is overcome, returns to an almost infantile fragility. His dark followers, many flee in terror, unable to bear the light.
So love wins, not through battle, but through embrace.
Yeah, exactly. The confrontation dissolves in compassion. Matilde entrusts her son, now transformed, helpless almost, into Gúbio's care, and then she dematerializes.
And Gúbio?
Gúbio holds the now inert Gregorio and just offers this quiet prayer of gratitude. The whole group, now including many of the spirits who were liberated during Margarida's case, prepares to leave.
Where are they going?
To a regenerative work colony, a place to continue healing and learning.
What a journey. We've literally gone from that stagnant little pond to the vast spiritual ocean.
We really have. Witnessing firsthand how things like personal choice, genuine love, real forgiveness can dissolve even the deepest, most ingrained resentments. It leads to profound liberation.
This whole deep dive into Libertação, it really shows a universe governed not by random chance, is it, but by these intricate laws of cause and effect.
Where every thought, every word, every action creates a ripple. It shapes our destiny moment by moment.
So, if this exploration is right, if we really do carry the paradise or hell created by ourselves within us,
then the final question becomes personal, doesn't it? What hidden realms, what pockets of darkness may be inside your own being are just waiting for that liberating light of understanding, of compassion, of true forgiveness.
And maybe more practically, what steps, even small ones, might you take today, right now, to embrace your own journey of transformation, to find your way out of whatever pond you might be in?